welcome back to episode 10 of the Over the Shoulder podcast. I'm just going to address the elephant in the room right ahead. As you can see, it is just me and Rob today. So going forward, it will be just me and Rob every week. We will talk about it later. We will have guest co-hosts every week. We'll try to, but we will be here every single week for sure, consistently. Every Wednesday. I know this episode's coming on Thursday a little late. We had a bit of a hold up, but it will come out after this week every Wednesday. So Mike Morano will no longer be joining us every week. He could maybe come back as a return, maybe do a co-host once in a while, but for moving forward, he won't be joining us. No hard feelings. I mean, we didn't have a big falling out, no big fight. It's just scheduling issues. You know, he's got a new job, he's got a life. But we understand. You know, it's hard to schedule all three of us at the same time once a week. So, yeah, moving forward, Mike Morano will not be a part of the podcast. He might come back for a co-host once in a while. We'll see. But yeah, moving forward, will be just me and Rob, and we will have guest co-hosts every week. We'll talk about that a little later at the end of the podcast. We do have a big announcement for next week. So yeah, Rob, you introduce yourself?
Yeah, thanks, Max. Rob here, big belt collector. Have been doing it since 2017. One of the admins on Belt Addicts Anonymous, along with Max and all of our colleagues over there. We just reached a huge milestone over there at Belt Addicts Anonymous. Just reached 2,000 members, so we're really, really proud of the group. We've created back in March of this year. The growth has been tremendous, ladies and gentlemen. We're happy to have all of you here. We're happy to have all of you in this group, and we're also happy that you have tuned in to watch Max and I, rip these episodes to shred and do some huge belt reviews. Like I said, it was a mutual parting with Mike Morano. Wish him all the best. Best of luck in his endeavors. With his YouTube page, he may come on as a guest co-host, one of these days. We don't know, but you know what? You can definitely assure that Max and I will be here every week doing these episodes, and we're going to have some great co-hosts. We really, really are, and we're going to be announcing those at the end of this episode. Max, I'm ready to dive right into these ECW championships. I'm really excited for this episode.
Yeah, of course. We're doing the ECW World Heavyweight Championship this week. The history, going through every single version from the beginning when it was Eastern all the way to the big silver. So let's go straight into it with the NWA Eastern Championship. Now, this is when ECW's Eastern Heavyweight Championship. That's Eastern Championship Wrestling, so it wasn't Extreme yet, and it was a branch of the NWA. Now, this is the first world title. As you can see, it's a very unique design, to say the least. Starting off, I just don't like it too much. The side plates are okay. They remind me of the Intercontinental Championship side plates, the shape at least. The main plate, to me, is just all over the place. The heavyweight is split in half. It says heavy and then weight on the other side. To me, that looks really weird. It should be one word. The purple, the red, the blue, the white, it just seems like too much to me. I don't like it at all. It has the eagle on top, which is nice, I guess. Basic black leather. Just not my cup of tea. Rob, what do you think?
Yeah, I agree, Max. It's got some shade and got some similarities to some of the other belts that we were kind of reviewing back in the previous episodes. Like, for instance, that eagle. I mean, that eagle is very similar to the one on the classic tag. I find on that WWF, and even where the logo is on the cut on that is a little bit similar. I don't like it. You're right. The side plates are like the Intercontinental Championship. I think there's too much color. There's too much color all over the place. You've got different shades of color on every single side plate, and then you got the banner, you got the black banner for the wrestling champion, and then you got blue for the Eastern Championship Wrestling. It seems off, and then the plate, some of the stuff, you've got North America there above the wrestling championship banner, you've got the white on the bottom, and then I agree, heavyweight being split out like that, it just seems really really bad with the purple and everything. Not my favorite. I haven't seen this belt. I got to be honest. I haven't seen a lot of these belts, even on a bootleg. Obviously not on the replica. They probably didn't come out with it, but I haven't actually seen anybody have this created by any makers to create this belt. So this is this is very, very new to me, but the colors don't do it. Like, it's just too much vibrant, vibrant colors here.
Yeah, like you said, it just seems all over the place. And even having so many colors, to me, it seems dull. If you'd think with so many colors, it would be vibrant and like fresh or something. It just still looks dull to me. Even with so many colors, the nameplate is all over the place. Just seems all. Just don't like it at all. The white ring, I don't know why it's pink and white. All the colors, purple and red, just doesn't go. And then there's this different shade of blue.
Yeah,
for I believe the end of
for the logo for the and if you really, really look closely at it, ECW, because it's so compact there that the E and then the C is below it and then the W is above.
It's ridiculous.
I would never get it.
No. I understand why no one made a boot like this. This is horrible.
No.
Moving on to the second version. This is, of course, Shane Douglas. When he won the NWA World Heavyweight Championship, he dropped it, threw him on the ground, I believe, and he pulled out the new ECW World Heavyweight Championship. I believe it was a decent improvement. You can't really see the side plates, and I couldn't find any proper pictures of it, so this is the best one I could find. Unfortunately, there's no good pictures of it. I haven't seen this be made too much. I think I saw it once in a while, but so far the main plate is pretty good. Definitely an improvement. You can see it's still going with the red and blue. Different shade of red. I think it's a better shade of red. Darker blue. The eagle's still on there. It seems similar to the original belt with the banner and the white ring on the bottom. Yeah, it's okay. It's a decent improvement, I guess, but it's not saying much because the first version sucked.
Yeah, I agree. And there are a couple guys that I know that have had a bootleg made of this belt. I don't mind the red. Now the banner, again, different shade of color. The Eagles there. This is definitely a better title than the Eastern one. It definitely is. The plate seems smaller. It does. I still think though that colors. The colors just throw it off a little bit. And I mean, having that red and having the black. I mean, I do like red and black. Don't get me wrong, but like the red is very prominent, and then the ECW is just again not really lined up. It's kind of diagonal.
Yeah, I don't like that at all.
I don't. So I mean, yeah. Is it a title that has history? Yes. Yes, it is. But again, I mean, I wouldn't go out of my way to go and purchase this belt. I mean, I do like ECW, and I don't have any ECW championships. I don't. And we'll talk about the ones that Figures Inc. put out and all those belts, and even the shop put out a recent one. We'll talk about that. I probably go for more of those types of belts since I am a Figures Inc. collector. This belt, now, I mean, is it better than the other one? Yes.
But that's not saying much.
Not saying much. Exactly. Not saying much.
And I don't know if it's a reflection, but it looks like that white ring is still there. And that's just...
You're right. You're right. It is. I didn't even notice that. Yeah. But you know why I didn't notice that is because Shane has the reflection off of his fingers. And he's got the white wrists, stuff. That's why
it's an improvement, but no. Moving on to the next version. This version is definitely better designed. It actually looks like an adult made it, not a toddler. The letters are actually straight. They're not all messed up. Heavyweight is one word. Thank God. I think it's definitely improvement. It looks very classy. Reminds me of a very old style of a belt. I do like it. To me, it doesn't go with extreme championship wrestling. Maybe it's when it's still Eastern, but to me, it just doesn't scream extreme, or it looks like a world title, which it is, but if it was East, it doesn't make sense to me. You can see the side plates. They kind of remind me of the Andre 87 with the, that beautiful belt behind you.
Yeah.
It's a little bit worse, honestly. Doesn't look as good. The nameplate was a lot better. They got rid of the purple. Thank God. They got rid of the white ring. Mostly gold. Nice touch of red for the ECW. Black banners. Looks a lot better. Has a floral pattern. Leather cut does look a little off to me, especially going around the main plate. The top, it looks a little weird to me. Yeah, what do you think, Rob?
Yeah, I totally agree. Those side plates do remind me of either the Andre 87 or the Hogan 86. They're definitely a lot better. I mean, it's a biased opinion. I'm sorry, guys, but I think they look better on the Andre and the Hogan 86. But I'll tell you why. Is because I feel like on this belt that the flags are really compacted together on two of the side plates. And then on the outer side plates, they're missing, obviously, some of the flags that are on those other belts. I just think it's a little weird having two flags on the one side plate and then one on the other side plate. Like, I mean, I guess they're going for a 2-for-1 type of deal. The leather cut I find a little bit weird. I do. Main plate is a nice main plate. I actually don't mind it. You've got the black, which is kind of nice in this case. You got black, the red, and then you've got the banner, which is kind of nice. The etching seems kind of not too bad. I mean, you'd have to get really, really close. The crown on the top, the globe just below the ECW, I do like. I do like a little bit. Clamshell tooling all the way around, very, very nice. Could the side plates? I mean, yeah. Do the side plates make the whole belt? No, no. Does this scream world title? It's a lot better than the other one we just saw. No doubt. Would I get it? Probably this one over the other one. Still, you can see the progression here, though, ladies and gentlemen, can't you? From where ECW kind of started with their titles, right? How they're trying to make them better. Maybe they just saw them on TV and they're like, holy F, like, what are we doing here? But I mean, and also, not to mention, like, the side plates, I guess they're all gold. Like, it's an all gold belt. There's no dual plating on the side plates at all. But yeah, it seems kind of weird, though. I mean, if you really, really do look at the flags, look how close that, like take, for instance, the Japan and the American flag. Look how close that is.
Yeah,
it's just stupid.
They just mushed together, and they look so off when you look at the far side plates. How it's it doesn't make sense to me. If they made the outer side plates two flags too, it makes sense. But it just looks really weird, especially when you see the outer side plate. Yeah, the main plate's nice. I don't mind the main plate. Just doesn't scream ECW for me. It just seems like a random indie promotion, but
no. When you think ECW, guys, like, what do you think? You think about people bashing each other's heads in with all the barbed wire and everything, right? And you're going to see that on the titles that are coming up here. But this, if I was thinking about ECW and I looked at this belt, I would not be seeing people hitting each other and going to the limits here. So, is it an improvement? Yes, but again,
Yeah, that's okay. Moving on to the next. Well, this is the same version, just a different picture.
It's different.
Yeah, it's okay. This version I didn't find too many pictures of, but of course RVD, Rob Van Dam, and we're looking at not at the tag belt, just the world title belt, but we will maybe go over the tag belt someday soon if you guys want to see that. Just comment down below. It just off the bat, it looks a lot like a winged eagle. You can clearly tell they stole the design from winged eagle, nameplate at least. They just changed the banners a bit here and there. To me, in the circular side place, to me that's tacky. I hate when companies do this. It just seems so indie to me when companies just get a classic design and they just slap their logo on there and change a bit here and there. It just looks so bad in my opinion, so unprofessional. I'd rather they went with the original horrible design than just copying off the winged eagle and doing a cheap knockoff. That being said, it's not that bad. It doesn't look that bad. Nameplate's okay. Side plates look a little weird with circular plates. You can see the US flag there. I'm guessing it's just the flags on the side plates, similar to the previous version. To me, the circular side plates look off, especially with that nameplate. It is missing the sidebars that the winged eagle had. Just noticed that. Looks weird. ECW logo's now in black, heavyweights painted in red. It's okay. But yeah, I wouldn't get this ever. Rob?
No, I agree, Max. And I mean, did Vince see this? Like, did Vince really see this title and like, oh shit, look, they're copying our belt? It looks off. I do agree that the left picture with him holding the titles up is a little bit better for that instead of the right picture, maybe because of the reflection, the lighting. With respect to the circular side plates, I mean, when I think of this belt, if it is going to be copying the Winged Eagle, okay, fine. You kind of copy a little bit. Side plates look off, they do. Fine, having circular side plates on this bad boy, it's just weird. It is. And like the colors are a little bit different. They are. I think the world is horrible with the writing, like where the world is, not a really great a great text there. It just seems very off. It really does. I mean, and there's something on that far left on the actual main plate. I can't make it out though. Really far left there. I don't know what that is, but yeah, guys. Like, I mean, if you're gonna copy something, I mean, maybe not try to slap other shit from the other belt onto here and just make it like, oh, okay, here we go. Here's ECW. There's nothing that really screams ECW about this. It doesn't. I mean, you're copying at that time probably, I don't know, probably the WWF, Winged Eagle at that time. And I mean, maybe ECW and WWF at that time were going head to head. Like they probably were. But again, I mean, World Wrestling Federation, World Wrestling Entertainment, they had rights to the Winged Eagle. ECW, I think you just copied them. I mean, this belt,
You're right. Now, I do gotta say, some people do copy classic designs to make them better. One example that I thought of and I just looked with on my phone is OVW. I don't know if you've seen their recent world title, but it is very similar
to
the Winged Eagle.
Okay.
It's a very modernized version. You can see the eagle is completely different.
Yeah.
More sharp, with some stones on there. Side plates there.
Side plates.
This looks beautiful. Looks a lot better than that ECW one. I mean, it's clear that they took inspiration from the Winged Eagle, but at the same time, they added a lot of their own elements. You can see the eagle is completely different there. It's more sharp. You can see the OVW logo on there. It has some stones, no sidebars. I think it looks really good. And I know I'm going off track, but just saying, just because you're copying a design doesn't mean it's going to look bad. And not all of them look bad. One looks pretty good. This was executed pretty poorly, though. This one did not look good, in my opinion.
I agree, Max. And that OVW just showed that actually, yeah, that eagle is fire, man. I mean, that is awesome. The side plates are very similar to the Winged Eagle side plates. They are. I mean, in this case, they tried to take inspiration from the Winged Eagle. I think they failed. I really do. Yeah. It just the shapes are just inconsistent. I mean, it doesn't flow well with the belt. Circular side plates. Yeah,
looks horrible. But moving on to One Night Stand, I think in a historic event, everyone's seen it. Yep. I mean, I was too young to watch by then, but I did go back on the network watching back, and this is a match that I always go back to. I mean, it was a decent match, but just the crowd was just electric. I mean, we talk about modern day, like, huge pops. I mean, CM Punk just returned, Brock Lesnar, Becky Lynch, all that, Cena. This was such an electric crowd, and as for the name One Night Only, it truly was a one night only event. There was never an event similar to this. Maybe they tried to replicate it, but nothing ever matched up to this event. Just the reaction when RVD came out, and then when Cena came out, everyone hated him. I don't know if you remember him trying to throw his shirt out to the crowd, them throwing it back to him a bunch of times. Just great memories seeing back then. And of course, Cena, being the professional that he is, played up to it. He acted like to heal that match, even though he was a babyface at the time. He acted his role. Of course, that night, RVD won the world title, and then later on, they gave him the ECW World Heavyweight Championship. This was when WWE and ECW had a partnership, and WCW was bought off, and then it was the invasion and everything. But yeah, this is very cool. I found this picture. I think it was really cool. RVD holding both titles with a spinner and the ECW World Championship that we will get into in a quick second. Rob, do you have any fond memories of One Night Stand or RVD's title win?
You pretty much have nailed it. I mean, that crowd, Max, that was electric. And I mean, I was just a teenager back then. I'm pretty old, but iconic moment in wrestling. That match, I mean, Cena played it up extremely well. I mean, when I'm thinking about that, when I think about One Night Stand, and I think about that, I think about this match. I'm glad you put this picture in there. Iconic moment, man. And I mean, hopefully, ladies and gentlemen, you can, and if you haven't seen that, the network, hopefully, well, the network should have that, and you can definitely check it out, and you will agree that this match, this moment, is one of the best moments. You will agree.
Just an extremely iconic moment. Just everything about it. Even after he won the title, he's walking around the balconies, hugging everyone, throwing beer on him. It's just great moment. Great moment.
Oh.
Yeah, that world title that he's holding, the ECW World Championship. This is the red version. He did hold the purple version. Let me go back to it. Not a huge difference, just the purple and red. So honestly, I kind of prefer the purple a little. That being said, the red's still nice. I mean, I like the bit of purple that makes the ECW logo pop a little more. At the same time, the red does look more consistent, I guess. Yeah, that's just a slight change. No huge differences. Let's go over this main design. This is, of course, the very iconic, the most iconic version of the ECW World title. This, or the big silver, we're going to get into soon. But I think when you think about ECW World Championships, you think about this one. You think about RVD holding it, CM Punk, Taz, everyone, Rhino. You just think about this world title. You can see that the design is, to me, a huge improvement. Definitely screams ECW. I think the other ones didn't make sense for ECW. This one, I think, works perfectly for ECW. The design is better. You can see the two side plates on each side look pretty nice. Purple globe, lots of barbed wire going all over, wrapping around the globe. I love that. Of course, those two bats going X at the far side plates. Main plate, you can see the blood dripping from the heavyweight wrestling text. Some of it even dripping onto the champion black banner. I think that's just awesome. The font looks great. You can see two grapplers wrestling there. Just barbed wire, cage. I think it's wonderful design and bonds perfectly for ECW.
I 100% agree. This is definitely a drastic increase, or definitely with respect to quality and with respect to what they were trying to put out here with respect to ECW. That the ECW having the red on top, I'm in total agreement with you. Purple, I like purple. It does make it pop a little bit more, but having the red there, and then having that blood drip right off the wrestling is really, really cool. The globe is cool. The font on the heavyweight wrestling champion is great. I like how the little splotches of red, though. I forgot about that. Kind of drip down to where the C and the A are down on the championship logo. Side plates are really cool. I really, really think so. Now, I don't know that I've seen this belt. I have. Max, is it barbed wire tooling?
Yes.
I think it's barbed wire tooling. Some of our admins have owned this belt. So like Casey on Belt Addicts Anonymous has owned the ECW titles. I don't think he has them anymore. He kind of downsized his collection, but he was, and we'll get into some of the other belts for the ECWs, held those. Colin Sove as well as owned some of these belts. But I do think that this belt is definitely an increase in the quality and just in the design. I mean, if I was going for ECW belts, I would try definitely to get like one of these and to get all the other belts. From this point, though, not from where Shane Douglas had that other title and where and where we saw the other titles that we were taking a look at here. It would be from this point, guys, and I think hopefully you guys would agree with me. You guys can drop a comment below if you guys, have other things about that. But, I mean, for me, this does scream the Extreme Championship Wrestling. It does for the ECW. It does. It shows ECW. I'd be proud to have this belt. And I don't know if you agree with me, Max, but the other belts below, I mean, fine, maybe teach their own, maybe, but I mean, everybody has their preference. They do. But it would be from this point, I think.
Yeah, I agree. The other ones, to be honest, suck.
No.
To me, they seem like whoever made them, no offense to them, but they didn't know what they were doing. It seems like they were just thrown together. That seems like someone actually put thought into it and actually designed a belt around ECW.
Yeah.
And of course, you can see Rhino CM Punk holding those titles. You can just see how beautiful. You can see the barbed wire on CM Punk there. You can see the barbed wire tooling going around. Very nice. I love this belt. Lots of history behind it, and definitely one of the most iconic versions. And now you can see that CM Punk is holding like a black version. This is the painted version they had.
That's the mod.
I think. I mean, to me, it's too much black paint on the main plates. On the side plates, I do prefer it. I think the side plates look a lot better. On the main plates, though, I think it is too much black paint. It just takes away the design for me. I do like a bit of extra blood, like a little, looks like a swoosh almost going under the wrestling. I do like that, the extra blood going around. But I think a bit too much black on the main plate. I think if it had a bit of outline or maybe I don't know, just a little outline in black would be nice like they did on the side plates. Just too much black for me. What do you think?
I agree. The black is way too much because you have a black strap. And I mean, you don't have the contrast in colors. I mean, yes, you've got blue, you've got red, you got all those colors. But the black, I don't know. Like, you're right. Side plates look good with the black. But then on the main plate, it's incredibly dark. I don't think that they would have had to do the main plate. I mean, even if you added, let's say, hints of black on the side plates and left the main plate the way it was, I think it would still be a really good look to the belt. I really do. I don't like this. I have seen other belt collectors do this mod, though, to make it look like this, and I've never been a fan.
I think if they added like just black paint around like to accent things like the barbed wire, the cages, the bats, I think that would look really cool. But I don't see the point in painting the whole background black. It's just too much for me, especially like you said on the black strap. It's just too much black.
Do you agree, though, Max? And I mean, when we were doing the other episodes, we were reviewing, like, let's say the NWA titles. We were looking at that TV title when it was on the red strap, but then we looked at it when it was on the white strap. Do you think that this belt, with the black mods that are in place, putting this on a white strap,
I like what you're going.
That would probably look
I think that would look awesome.
Yeah,
I like what you're going. Yeah. No, like you said, on the black strap is just too much, but I like it. Yeah, if it was on a white strap, I think it could look nice. At the same time, though, a world title on a white strap.
It's tough. It's tough.
But if you're just going to display it for personal collection, I think it'll look cool. I think it'll look really nice. Yeah, I agree.
Something cool.
Now moving on to the big silver.
My favorite.
Now this is a very controversial one. I think some people either hate it or love it.
My favorite.
I'm kind of torn for this one, to be honest. Of course, there's not too much history behind it. I mean, WWE, ECW wasn't the best. But we're just talking about design. I don't like it too much. I mean, to me, I do appreciate silver belts. I do. I know some people like only gold belts for world titles now. I like silver belts. It's just something about it just doesn't scream world title. It just seems too almost like a toy. The side plates, the shape of the side plates just seems so random. Doesn't even seem extreme to me. It just seems random. Just, I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me. The shape of the main plate's alright. It goes nice with the eagle. I do like the eagle. I do like the World Wrestling banner. Champion, pretty simple. Main plate's alright. It's huge. Side plates, yeah, I just don't like the shape. They remind me of like Birkins, like like the sea urchin. Yeah, I hate it.
I was gonna say
I don't like the side plates. They just
say that
doesn't make sense to me, especially for a world title. It just seems like a toy. And I know this is a bit of a tangent, but I remember when I was pretty young, this was the first toy replica I ever got. I was at a grocery store, if you guys can, a superstore, and they had this for sale for like $10 or something.
Oh, did they really?
Like, perfect. Yeah, they had the toy version. I wish I kept it, man. Because I know even the toy versions are selling for a lot now. But they were selling it at superstore for like the longest time, and I remember picking it up as technically my first belt. So I do have some fond memories with this. Backyard wrestling with friends. Everyone did that, playing with this toy belt. I mean, I gotta say, the toy replica is very nice. It's pretty thick. But, yeah, doesn't really do it for me. Rob?
This would be probably if I were given a choice here. I mean, and I'm like, okay, Rob, what's the one ECW belt that you would own in your collection? Let's just say you only had the option of getting one. This would be it. Now, reason is big. I love big
Wow.
titles. I love big titles. Obviously, we know we definitely do. I do like the nameplate. This has become more, I mean, it's not a huge rarity, but it is getting up there to find one in a decent condition. I do like the silver. I do. I absolutely do. The main plate is a really cool main plate. Side plates, side plates are a little bit off. They are. They're almost, they're almost like, those fighting movies where they throw those like silver things at people. I don't know what they're called, but anyways, but they're that's kind of cool. I do like. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. I do like the fact that the ECW is silver. I mean, as per the other ones that were red, red would be weird on this belt. I've always been a fan of this belt. Big, it's huge. I think it looks good. I really do. Side plates could be better, definitely, but this is and as it says, ladies and gentlemen, putting this over your shoulder would make you feel like a champion. It really, really would. I would probably, this would be the one belt that I would get. And I mean, I even, like, for instance, like Colin. Colin had ECW championships, and I mean, he had a few of these. He really did. And I think he was telling me, I mean, Colin, if you're watching this, man, you can tell me wrong, okay, man? You definitely can. But I think you told me that this was one of your favorites. This for the ECW. I mean, when we're talking ECW, I know what your favorite is, bro. And I've talked to a lot of belt collectors. This is always one that comes up. So would I own it? Yeah, I would. I definitely would if I had the chance. Does it go with my collection? No, no, it doesn't. But again, it's almost like that NWA Dome Globe. I mean, that doesn't go, but.
Yeah.
I mean, if I had a chance, I would definitely get it. It would be a Figures Inc. There we go. So, a lot of things I like about it, though.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest. I'm surprised. I mean, I guess I could have seen it coming because it's a huge belt, and I know you'd love big belts, but I don't know. To me, something about it, I never could like it too much. It just, even the leather, that's one thing that I hate. There's no tooling.
No, nothing.
Just the basic strap. I hate that, man. I love when straps are tooled, the intricate bevel. This is literally just stitching.
Yeah, and I mean, I learned something new, Max. I didn't know that. I mean, yeah. So if you guys don't know, ladies and gentlemen, Max and I are here in Calgary, Alberta, Canada, home of Bret Hart, of course. But Superstore, I didn't know, Max, that we were selling these replicas at Superstore. I didn't know.
Yeah, they had like those big white bins.
Yeah,
okay. A bin full of these. I remember this is the only one I always checked when I went to grocery store. I was like, I'm going to the store. I'm like, I'm coming, just to make sure to check if they had new ones. They had only this belt, toy version, for the longest time. They had so many. They were like basically giving them away. They're like 50% off. And looking back at it, I'm like, man, I should have bought all of those and sold them for. Because even now, I saw someone selling it for like $100. A toy version, and I'm like, that's ridiculous. I could have bought them, but yeah. I had this version, and I mean, for a toy version, it's pretty nice. It's nice and thick. So I believe the Figures Inc. version would be pretty nice. Seeing how the eagle bulges out, ECW staff, the globe. Yeah, it's not bad. But to me, my favorite still has to be classic. Classic ECW, not the black one, but classic one, the red one, the purple one.
That's fair.
Me, that screams more ECW. To me, it's just. No fond memories, But of course, there were good champions. Not saying it, Christian, Matt Hardy, two of the best. And like you said, the size, you can see Matt Hardy. Matt Hardy's not a small guy. I mean, sure, he's a small guy for wrestling, but even in person, he's huge. I don't know if you've met him or anything, but they're huge. Even the small wrestlers are big. And you can see how huge the belt really is in his arms. Also, Christian, because he's holding it, he can barely even wrap his arm around. It's a huge belt. Yes.
I mean, I do like the pictures that you have there. It makes it look really cool, and it's like in its reality. And yeah, I mean, Christian, it's massive on him. It's absolutely huge on him, and for a hard.
I do have to say, it looks better in like someone holding it. It does look better like that, but still, the tooling does it for me. You can see at the end the snap box for Christians. It's really just snaps. There's no snap box. It's just snaps, and that's
And I've noticed on the ECW replicas, and I mean we'll talk about those, but I mean I guess in this case that the snaps are pretty much apart like they are on the normal WWE titles. But if you take a look on some of the ECW replicas and you look at the female snaps, you look at the male snaps, they're closer together. Not on this belt, but on some of the other ones, they're close together. I like them standard further apart. I mean, I don't like them so close. It kind of makes it look weird when you're coming into the end of the belts.
This the current tags, it looks a little weird. Or
exactly
in NXT.
Exactly. And I mean, even on my women's tag, that will probably, well, I mean, we've reviewed that, we have, but even on the women's tag, they were starting to do them a little bit close together. But I noticed that ECW belts had that. I mean, they had that. I'm not a fan of that. If we really got technical, guys, really technical with respect to snaps and everything, the ECW didn't have that. They were standard far apart. But I mean,
I know it sounds like such a small detail, but snap spacing kind of matters. I mean, I had my NXT Tag Team Championships, and I think you saw in person, the snap spacing was ridiculous. It was like this close. I'm not even lying because I had to put the nails up on the wall to hang it up. The spacing was like an inch, maybe 2 inches. It was a tiny spacing between. Just made it feel like a women's belt, and it looked so off on the strap. And it seems like such a small detail, like snap spacing. Who cares? It really does make it like on a standard belt, like the Wing D or most belts, the spacing looks correct. But then you look at belts with like really tight spacing, like the tags or the current Raw and SmackDown tags behind you with the really wide snaps.
Yeah, they're really far apart. And then, like, even if you take a look at like the SmackDown and then the Raw, they're standard apart. But yeah, on these tags, they're very, very far apart. Is the thing. And I mean, those are standard too over there. But you're right, though. I mean, I am saying it is small, but if we talk about display, guys, and you guys are members or belt collectors that hang your belts on the wall, having them really, really, really close, man, it's effing tough, like fucking tough to really measure that and to get them accurately and level and everything. So, it's a pain.
I hang all my belts, and it's every time I get a new belt, that's the worst part. Having to measure this, like, I mean, if you're gonna do it, quick tip: just get a ruler. No, here's an even better thing: get a paper, get a little paper, measure it, write it down with a pencil, put the paper on the wall, and put like the nails or the thumbtacks or whatever on the wall exactly, and then get a level. Make sure it's level, because if it's not level, it looks ridiculous.
Oh man, it looks cool.
Yeah, it's especially on belts like this, like the tags, like the Raw tag that I have. It was a pain. I mean, it was so far apart that make sure they're straight. It's just.
These were the toughest ones to hang. They were far apart. Oh man, were they?
They're not light belts. They're not that light. Those tag belts are not that light.
Nope. So, nope.
Yeah. Moving on to the replicas. We're talking about replicas. Let's get officially into them. First, we're going to do the WWE Shock 5mm re-release version of the classic ECW. Now, one disclaimer that I do have to say is I checked on WWE Shock, and I can check again now. It's off the Shock. I don't think they're going to redesign it and put out a new one, because I'm pretty sure this came out in 2019. I'm pretty sure it's a re-release, the 5mm version. So I don't think they're going to like remake it or anything, because this is a pretty well-made replica. I mean, I don't see any huge issues with it. And I heard some pretty good reviews, so I don't see them remaking it or re-releasing it. I think it's just out of stock. The same thing happened with the Roman Reigns side plates. I wanted those for the longest time, and they're out of stock for like a few months, so they weren't in the shop. So just be patient if you want this replica. Just wait a bit. Don't. I know some people are starting to resell them for a bit extra. I know the same thing happened with the Roman Reigns side plates. I was trying to get them, and people were selling them for like $50. I feel like, oh, it's not in the shop anymore. No, don't fall for that. It's gonna be back on the shop soon. It's just out of stock probably, or they move production, something. Who knows? But currently it's on the shop. But it is the 5mm version. As you can see there, it's based on the red version, not the purple one. Still very nice. You can see the side plates, how thick they are. Beautiful. You know, it's a shop replica. The strap is it's okay. If you're gonna display, it's fine. Once again, I always recommend get your belts re-leathered if you are gonna handle it. Makes a huge difference. I know it's expensive to pay $300 sometimes dollars for a leather strap, but once you feel it, trust me, you'll never go back to stock straps. That's the issue that I had. I had one re-leathered belt, and now I'm getting all my shop belts re-leathered, and it's expensive. But if the strap isn't an issue, this stock belt is great. 5mm plates, details there, gold simulated gold plating, but it still looks good. I mean, who cares if it's not 24 karat gold, just a replica. I do believe, I'm not sure if they're hollow plates. They might be hollow plates. Rob, do you know if these are hollow? I don't think they are.
I don't think they are.
Even if they are, just
still good.
It's just a replica. You know, it doesn't matter. It doesn't need to be full. You can see the black paint looks really nice. I'm not sure if this is actual black paint or if they switched to the like epoxy inserts that they do. You know, like that comes off. I hope it isn't that. If it is, then some of the black paint's going to be falling off. Hopefully, I haven't seen too many people have issues with it though, so I believe it is black paint. So hopefully it is. Yeah, there's the picture they used to release it. Looks nice. I mean, pretty nice belt. Rob, what do you think about it?
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, they're definitely taking off the red version. 5mm plates is a real big thing. It is. Now, you're going to get two extremes here, ladies and gentlemen, where Max loves the re-leathered belts. I love stock strap belts. I've got to be honest, though. I mean, having a fucking flimsy belt or having a belt that just doesn't move down is kind of annoying. It is. I mean, I'm all about... I love the patches on belts. I'm a very, very big fan of having the original patch, Figures Inc. collector, WWE shop belt collector. I actually only have one re-leathered belt, and I actually posted a little video of my WWF IC title on belt Addicts Anonymous. Go check it out if you are a member. If you're not, please join our page. But it is a solid replica. It is. I don't think that they've taken this off permanently. I wouldn't suggest to contact WWE Shop customer service and ask them about this because I'm sorry, guys. They'll give you a bullshit answer. They really did. I actually ended up doing that for I wanted a Divas belt. I mean, and you're probably wondering what the hell was I thinking. But I wanted a Divas belt, and they had it for the longest time off the shop. And I mean, like Max said, he was waiting for Roman Reigns side plates to get back on the shop. When did they come? They came back in a couple months. They're not going to take this one off permanently. They're going to bring this back. I think you'll see it come back. They're just out of stock, and I mean, they're probably just getting the next batch made over either China, right? That's what they're doing.
Yeah.
Hopefully they're not from Wuhan. But this is a very solid replica. Would I recommend getting this replica? Yeah, I mean, sure. I don't know if they're hollow. Hollow plates. I don't think I've seen an in-depth like for instance, like Paul Martin does that. I don't.
Yeah, it's great reviews, but yeah,
he does that. But would this be a good first belt? I have seen people get this belt for the first belt. It's not a common belt to get as a first belt, but I have seen them get it. It is a solid replica. It's 5mm plates. The strap, I can't really comment. It's probably going to be stiff as hell, or you could get lucky like Mike did from previous episodes and get really floppy belts. But as Max said, you can get them re-leathered. You can. And since we are brand new podcast here, I will give a shout out to Ryan Richards, releatherer. He can definitely releather any belts, guys. You can definitely contact him. He is a member of our Facebook group. So, I mean, if you want to get in touch with him, he offers great prices for releathering belts. Max is going to be releathering. He has releather belts from him, and he's probably going to releather more belts from him. So him and Max are kind of tight. He is Canadian. He is. But does he do work for the U.S.? Of course he does. I mean,
Yeah.
he definitely does. And so, I mean, you can definitely reach out to him. But
He's a great guy. And I
yeah,
don't mean to interrupt you, but I just want to say he's just, again, shout out to Ryan. He's a standout guy. He isn't like some other releathers who won't respond for days and weeks. He'll respond. He'll give you a thoughtful message, and he's not like some people who just want your money. Let me just tell you a quick story. I'm getting my AW tag releathered by him, and I needed snakeskin backing. He didn't have any in stock, and they didn't really sell any ones that matched the one on TV. I was like, okay, I'll try some different backing. I will get that belt back soon, probably the next month or so. He should be done soon with that. So he gave me a few options for backings, and there was like a metallic blue. I think I showed you, Rob, a metallic blue option that I really like. And I was like, how's this one? And he's like,
beautiful.
okay, I'll be honest, it's about $30 extra, and it's shit. You know, it's not real leather. It's not going to be as good quality. I can do it if you want, but I recommend this one. It's better quality. It's a proper leather, and it'll be cheaper. And I was like, okay, yeah. Thank you for being completely honest. Anyone else could have been like, oh, yeah, I'll do that for you. Give me a worse product, more money. No, he told me the truth. He was honest. He's like, no, the other one's veg tan leather, which is the best quality leather you can use for a strap, and it's cheaper. So I did appreciate that a lot. It just shows how honest he is. And he's just a great guy. Even to have a conversation with, even if you're not getting a belt or re-leather, just talk to him. He's a great guy. He's part of our group, like you said, Belt Addicts Anonymous. So feel free, business all the way at him. Fully trusted, great guy, especially if you're in Canada, because import fees are a pain in the ass. I mean, I'm dealing with something right now. I'm trying to get a belt, and it's been like 2 weeks. It was held by customs. It's
Oh, wow.
a pain. So getting things from Canada, directly from Canada, especially if you're in Canada, is huge. You know, it's a great deal. You know?
Yeah, and you guys can contact him. You can. A solid guy, solid individual. And I have no problem shouting out to him on this video. I'll probably even shout out to him on the other videos that we've got here. Ryan Richards, he is a great guy. He's also on some of the admin teams on some of the other Facebook groups, Bell groups. So, I mean, but you can private message him. You can go for it. Probably message him. He'll answer you. He won't take like sweet ass time answering you. He will answer you guys. I guarantee it. Okay. So
Now moving on to Figures Inc. The 1999 Figures Inc. ECW Taz version. This one's pretty rare. I haven't seen too many pictures of this one.
that's right.
As you can see, it's black ECW, some orange on there. That's really cool. Honestly, I saw this one caught me off guard, and I was like, I need to add this. The strap is pretty basic. I know the shop version does have like simulated barbed wire tooling. This one doesn't, but it is Figures Inc. So, I mean, if you're gonna find this is a rare belt. I've never seen anyone really sell this before. So if you do find one, definitely hop on it. I mean, it's Figures Inc. It does seem like 2mm plates, but it's a 22-year-old belt. Looking at if you want 5mm plates, go to a WWE shop. If you want something rare, you know, this is it. Rob, what do you think about this version?
I totally agree. And I mean, you know, I'm a fan of rare belts. I mean, I am. Would I get this one? I don't know. I do know that Casey, admin for Belt Addicts Anonymous, had a re-leathered version of this belt. I believe it was on a red strap that he had. He doesn't have it anymore. I do like this belt. I do. I like let's be honest here. The writing and the main plate are the same. Okay, they are. But with respect to the colors that they got going on here, so with the black and then I think it's orange. That's orange writing.
Orange, yeah.
Looks like orange. The backing is really cool here. Now you can see it up on the right and up on the left. with respect to the backing. Kind of nice. I mean, what is it, like a brown color? I mean, pretty cool. 2mm plates, guys. Yeah, okay. You know, 2mm plates. But that's what Figures Inc. is. Figures Inc. mainly are 2mm plates. They put out these like whole slew of replicas back in the day, and I mean for ECW, they are. But I mean, with respect to like Figures Inc., I've always been asked the question: do you want to own Figures Inc. belts, or would you rather own shop belts? Well, I got to be honest; it's kind of a mix of the two. What would I rather have on the wall? Figures Inc. I would. But the shop has really stepped up their game on some of these belts. Now, to give you the idea here, okay, let's talk about shop belts, okay? Belt Addicts Anonymous offers usually winner's choice events. We do. So Max and I, like I said, are admins on Belt Addicts Anonymous, and there's 6 other guys that are with us on our team. We offer the winner's choice events that you have the opportunity to win a shop belt for a low price. What is it? 12 Canadian, Max? You know, it's 12 to 15.
Basically, 50 cents American. Like, if you want a belt for literally $12. I mean,
seriously,
if you don't have too much money, I know a lot of people are like, "Oh, I want to get replicas, but I don't want to spend $400-500," and that's fair. I mean, that's completely fair. I mean, I'm insane for spending the amount of money I spend on the belts is ridiculous, but that makes sense. If you don't have the money, or you just don't want to spend $300 on a belt, it's a lot of money. You know, it's a lot of money for metal and leather, or metal and simulated leather. So just join the raffle. If you only have $12, go ahead. Pay $12. You can get a spot. You can get 2 spots. However much you want to spend, get a few spots on there, and you can literally win a brand new WWE shop belt. Any belt on the shop, right? I believe so, right? Basically any shop.
Exactly. So they're pretty much any belt on the WWE shop. If it's not listed on there, we'll definitely work with you. But the reason why I'm bringing this up is that, as we mentioned back previously at the beginning of this episode, our group has just reached 2,000 members for being in operation for such a short time. We are currently offering a free belt. Well, I don't know if it's a free belt. It's a free event. Let's just talk about it. It's a free event. Now, we posted something, and hopefully there are people that are tuning into this special episode of the Over the Shoulder podcast, that we posted that we would be releasing this episode, and we would be releasing it on Thursday, and we would be saying we would be saying a key word. We would be giving you a key word in the episode here that you could use to claim an extra spot. So pretty much how it's going to work is that on the event, and we've discussed this, is that there's going to be 50 total spots here, okay? 40 are going to be claimed by comment, but the last 10 are opportunity to claim an extra free spot in the event. I don't want to call it the other word, but in the event. The only way that you can do this is if you know what the key word is. So Max and I are proud to be giving you guys the key word here. Hopefully you guys have tuned into this episode all the way through and haven't parts to get to this point. I'm hoping, Max. Extreme is the key word. So if you haven't heard it, it's extreme is the key word.
Now, Rob, for people watching, they heard the code, or what do they do if they heard that word to get claim the extra spot?
And that's a really good question, Max. So it's a pre-eligibility. So what you're going to do is you hopefully have watched this episode. You know that the keyword is extreme. You're going to private message us on Belt Addicts Anonymous, either Max Rivera or Rob Staniloff. You are not to private message the other admins. It's only Max and Rob. You will be private messaging us and telling us the word extreme. You will be eligible to pick or claim a spot when you do pick the spots when we do launch when we launch the event. Now, if you have given us, let's say we get a lot of people telling us what the keyword is extreme, and the spots are gone. Too bad. I mean, even if you pass the pre-eligibility phase, which this is the pre-eligibility phase, you do have the opportunity. You may not get it, though. But there will be 10 additional spots that will be available to have the opportunity to get one more spot than the regular one-spotter. You won't be picking numbers here. So you probably message us the word extreme. You wait for the raffle to drop or the event to drop, and we will provide you with details on how to claim the extra spot. when you go and pick it. But as I said, the word is extreme. And it goes with this episode since we are looking at Extreme Championship Wrestling. So we are hoping that you have watched this episode entirely.
So make sure if you're watching, you didn't hear, you weren't paying attention, if you heard the word code keyword extreme, message me or Mike Morano, both Addicts Anonymous. We're admins on it. It should be pretty easy to find us there. We post all the time.
But not Mike.
And you can claim your spot. You can claim our spot. Now, say you missed out on the post and you didn't get your spot because you were at work or something. You're like, I missed out on the event. Still have a second chance. Or say you already got your spot, but you want a second spot. Here's your second chance. Claim that spot. So let's go back to the show. Moving on to, this is a re-leathered version that I did find. Pretty nice. Beautiful backing, nice tooling. But yeah, I think it's a great replica. Like you said, 2mm, but with the rarity and Figures Inc.
Can't hear you. Yeah, and we are having some technical difficulty with Max's mic, but I don't think we can hear each other at all. Here, we're having a hard time hearing each other. Give us 1 sec to deal with this. I don't know. Can I hear you? No, can't hear you. We're trying to deal with this. Give us 1 second here.
Can you hear me now?
There it is. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good. Sorry, guys. As we're talking about this, we talk about this belt. I do like the re-leather. I like the backing.
Yeah.
I really do like the backing. The backing is cool. And yeah, I do like this. Yeah, I do like this version. I really do. Having it on this leather strap. Maybe you guys can convert me over to re-leathered straps. I don't know. Am I convertible? Probably.
Makes a huge difference.
It really does. It looks
especially
good.
on good leather.
It looks really good. Floppy. Having that floppy. I mean, I showed that IC title, man, and that was floppy as heck. And that curve I had. I mean, it looks like that. This has a really nice curve too on it.
Yeah, it's very nice. That's the good thing about 2mm. You can curve them.
Oh, easily, yeah. The problem is, guys, when you have like stacked plates and when you have like, let's say, like thick plates, and I mean, you try to bend, and I mean, let's be honest, how are you doing it? You're bending it over your knee. you are. The problem is if they're really like if they are 2mm, it's a lot easier to bend because it won't crack. But on like the stacked plates or on the thicker plates, it's a little bit harder. It really, really is because there's so much there and it puts a lot of pressure on the plates. Yeah. I don't know if I would recommend doing that on the. It's risky. It really is.
You could damage your $400, $300 belt just by trying to bend it. So
right over your knee. I wouldn't do it.
Yeah, going on to the next replica is the Figures Inc. ECW World title, the classic version, the purple version. Of course, it's the adult size. There's the banner that they used when they were advertising it. Very nice. Details there.
Very nice. That's nice.
Simple leather. Once again, doesn't have any barbed wire tooling, but it's Figures Inc. You know, you don't really care about those things. You came with a rarity. Once again, 2mm. Same thing with a Taz. It's a rare belt. No huge differences, just the paint. Rob, what do you think about this version?
That picture, I like that picture a lot, Max, actually. That's a really good picture. That purple, man, that purple makes it pop a lot better than having the red. I mean, the red, fine, it's good, but I mean, having the purple is absolutely amazing. You're right though. Not one speck of tooling on that bad boy. All stitched around. Am I a fan of that? I'm like you. I kind of like to have that the barbed wire or whatever, or the clamshell tooling. I mean, it won't be clamshell on this one. As far as the plates go, yeah, it is 2mm. It is. I'm just looking at everything here. The bats on the left side and the right side, they might not be as more prominent on the Figures Inc. versions than on some of the other WWE shop replicas. Fine, you'll have a red ECW on there, but Again, you'll find that, guys, on some of these Figures Inc. belts, and it's almost like, like we will hopefully be able to review this belt going on another episode. But the Big Eagle, let's take an example. The McMahon crest, it's not as prominent on that belt. So on some of these titles, they do have the details. They just don't have them as prominent as some of the other like in-depth detail. So it is still not a bad not a bad looking belt. It's still not bad. This belt definitely looks a lot better in this picture, though. I agree.
Moving on to the Big Silver, your favorite 2008 Figures Inc.
Yeah.
You can see the picture there. This is a well-made replica. Even if you don't like the belt, it's very well-made. You can see how stacked it is. The eagle is just popping out. Similar to the United States Championship, the new one, the eagle just pops out. Not as much, but still looks very nice. You can see the ECW stacked. Nameplate is removable. You can see there has a custom nameplate. The side plates are stacked as well. The dome globe looks very nice. Just beautiful. I mean, well-made replica,
Yeah, I like the fact that it has a nameplate on there. It's kind of cool to have that nameplate. Yeah. The stack is really cool. Reminds me a lot. I mean, not the design, but the stackness kind of reminds me of those of the Raw and SmackDown current shop tags a little bit with respect to the stacks. I do like it. I really, really do. It looks good in the light here. Again, not a speckle of tooling. Not at all. Around, you just got the stitch. It's black stitch too.
It is TV accurate, so.
Yeah, it's black stitch too, which doesn't give a lot. It's kind of like you just put the plates just up bare on a strap, but the plates are nice in this case, and even having the that logo, that scratch logo right at the top there, that little one there, just above the World Wrestling Entertainment, makes it really look cool. And you'll get the pattern.
Even that logo is a little stacked, isn't it?
It looks it. It does actually. Is it in line with the rest of those panels on the top there? I don't know. I'm looking at that logo, seems kind of more to the right, but
the angle, but
it could be the angle. But yeah, I mean, it's a really, really well-made replica. And as Max was saying, even the toy versions of these belts are going for like $100 if you can find them. Do they come up on eBay? Maybe sometimes. But again, if you are a member of Belt Addicts Anonymous, you are able to put the ISO posts in the group if you want, in search of ECW. And I mean, we got a lot of members in there, as you know, and we have a lot of people that are real belt collectors. And you know what? Hey, maybe one guy will have one.
You'd be surprised how many people, like someone posted earlier today, looking for an NXT title, and then people were there on top of it. People are looking for NWA, already messaged. So if you're looking for a belt, even if you think it's too rare, you'd be surprised how many people actually have it, and they just don't talk about it. So.
Exactly, and it's a non-judging, nourishing atmosphere, which is one of the main reasons why we created this group, was to not pass any judgment, was to help belt collectors or young belt collectors or newly belt collectors attain their goals. And if you are looking for a belt like this or any other belt, feel free to post on the group. We'll be able to help you. You can private message any one of us, and I mean, we have a lot of contacts. We've been in the.
Even today, someone was looking for an NWA, and I steered him in the right direction.
Yeah,
help him out. Just. Of course, just message any one of us. So I did find this paint mod to see what you wanted, what you thought about it. I did see some people adding, because like the eagle has the flames, of course.
Yeah.
The flames, of course, the flames going around the logo, and they painted the ECW red on the side plates. I think it's cool. I like it.
It's cool. I think it's cool. That ECW, that red on those outer side plates, man, that's
my
killer.
favorite part.
That is, I love that. You're right. That's my favorite part of the whole belt. The fire, on the main plate, it gives it, it's a different shade.
If it was the same shade as the ECW, I think that'd be look.
That would be cool. That would be cool. The only thing, I mean, I do like the paint mod, I do, but it's more fiery on the left side of the wing on the left side than the right side.
I'm not sure if it's the lighting. It looks like there's a window on the right side. Might be lighting, but
maybe. Okay. All right. But that ECW is fire. That that takes me back to the time where they were, having it on TV and everything with that ECW. I mean, that's killer. That's a great paint mod. Kudos
Now,
to
I
her.
wish if the main plate had the ECW in red,
That'd be cool.
or maybe the WWE logo in red, something on the main plate would look nice, or even the champion, anything. Very nice. I just wanted to bring that up because I thought it was a nice mod that I found.
Really, really cool.
So yeah, that is the end. You can see the new logo, new and improved, all Canadian podcast now.
All Canadian podcast from Calgary, Alberta, Canada. Bret Hart's hometown, guys. So we are very happy to be bringing these episodes to you live exclusive either on Addicts Anonymous YouTube page or on Max Rivera's YouTube page. Like I said, we are going to be having co-hosts. Max and I are going to be here every week. We are being here every week. Why are we being here every week? We love this. We love this. We want you to watch. We definitely do. But we do this out of having fun with the hobby. We love belts. I mean, Belt Addicts Anonymous. I mean, is that any more of an indication of how much we love belts? I mean, we're talking about how much we love them, definitely. But we are an all Canadian podcast. We're going to be having co-hosts, guest co-hosts here every week. Who knows? It could be just us two, but we're just here to have fun. I mean, Max, if you want to expand on that, man.
Yeah, like you were talking about, I mentioned earlier in the show, co-host. Do have a huge announcement for next week. This episode was huge, but next week is going to be even bigger. To me, I think it's going to be the biggest episode we've had to date. Of course, everyone wanted this belt. Episode 11 will be on the Crumrine, and even bigger announcement, our first ever co-host will be none other than Eddie Williams. Do I have to say anything else? I mean, if you guys don't know who Eddie is, he is a very, very influential guy in the belt hobby. Great stand-up guy, just a great person. I mean, middleman for a few makers. He is an admin on lots of the pages, Brothers of the Belt, Championship Belt Club, Area 51. I believe, to me, him, Carmine, and Josh Hammer are the three at the top. Who run this hobby. So it's a complete pleasure to have Eddie Williams on the episode next week. Of course, we're going over the Crumrine, the original Big Gold. I do have a replica of it made by X-Men Belts here. This is a little teaser. You'll see more of it tomorrow.
Yeah.
I will have also in-depth review on my YouTube channel later on this weekend, probably Saturday. Eddie Williams does have a Classic Shields version of this belt. So it'll be very interesting to see that quality, comparing it, just talking about the history. I mean, the Crumrine, the Big Gold in general, is a very iconic belt. In my opinion, one of the most iconic belts next to the Winged Eagle. And the Crumrine is the original version, of course, introduced by Ric Flair on NWA, then passed on to WCW, and then on WWF for a bit, and then back to WCW, and now just a very iconic title. And I just can't wait to have Eddie on here next week. Wednesdays, back on Wednesdays. We'll be here every single week with his podcast. I promise you that me and Rob will be here, and we'll have guest co-hosts every week. We'll try to. If not, at least we'll be here.
And that's exactly it. And another word about Eddie. I mean, Eddie is a solid guy in this hobby. He really is. And again, I've shouted out to him on previous videos. He is, and I do agree with you, Max. Him, Carmine, Sabia, and Josh Hammer are the top three guys in this hobby. They run this hobby, those three. They're outstanding guys. They definitely are. Beltomania, Dirt Sheet, 963 Podcast. I mean, all those ones. Having Eddie on here is great. He is actually going to be inducted into the Addicts Anonymous Hall of Fame that we have on the page. He will be inducted at Survivor Series. I'm very jittery and very excited. You can tell to have him join us.
Yeah.
It's a huge thing. I mean, two guys from Calgary. I mean, we are belt collectors. We are. I mean, Eddie, he's an amazing guy. I mean,
and he's a humble guy. He's like, oh yeah, for sure, I'll do it. But he just huge for the podcast. Can't wait him. Just can't think of a better person to have as the first co-host. Eddie
can't.
Williams. I mean, does it get any bigger? I mean,
I can't either. And, and I'm hoping that, this is, and like I said, guys, this is a newly improved new podcast that Max and I have, having these influential guys on here to talk about these belts, hoping that you can join in and learn a lot about these belts. Because, for sure, we're definitely going to be learning. We are. But having, not just Eddie, having other co-hosts, and we're promising and bringing you solid people that know the belt collecting hobby and bringing them on here. And again, if they're not going to be here, it'll be Max and I. But we will assure you that we will be bringing you an episode here every week, so you can definitely stay tuned for that. But we're very happy that you are coming on here. We're happy that you're part of Addicts Anonymous. We're happy that you are able to watch this episode. So just very excited, Max.
I think that's said it perfectly. I think it's a good place to wrap it up. Of course, get a belt over the shoulder, and look at this. I finally got it.
You got.
I never thought I would ever get it.
This is so. Hopefully, we'll be able to go over this. We'll go over the network titles, but I do like this belt because it's got Ambrose side plates on it. Absolutely cool. Very, very cool. But Max, if you want to wrap this up with a bow, go for it, man.
Of course. Episode 10. Next week, episode 11, the Crumb Rhyme with Eddie Williams as co-host. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you guys in the next episode.